All right, now I gotta make this quick because I'm about to go see Avatar. You know what I'm saying? Got to get that it's all connected vibe. Um, so basically, I went to a float tank today, and I'm kind of give you a rundown of the experience. My first time going to the float tank, and it's weird that when I talk, I don't look at the screen. I just look out, whatever. But anyway, so I went to it and I got it from Groupon. I was supposed to go the same day as my friend, but I had to reschedule. Got there, the guy greeted me. He asked for my name, I guess, to check me in a reservation. Then he offered me to go to the bathroom, so I wanted to before the experience. So I went to the bathroom. He let me into the room, and he basically gave me this whole rundown of information about it. So he said, I'm definitely gonna be paraphrasing because I can't remember exactly the order and what he said, but he said like he showed me the tank. He said it was filled with like a certain amount of pounds of Epsom salt. um he showed me where the start button is to let him know to start the timer. He said they turn off the light that's up there in that specific small room, because it's that small room, and then it's a little room right behind it where the shower and another toilet is. So he said he turned off that light because where the crease is, sometimes the light gets in. And he said, so once you get in, you set yourself up uh, to press the button, and it'll start the timer for him, and you'll know that it started because the jet thing would stop to let you know. And from that point too, he told me to make sure that I take the washcloth that they asked me to bring, uh, rinse it with water, basically wet it, put it on top of like one of their filters, just because like if the salt water gets to your eyes, it really burns, but the fresh water will help break it down or whatever. He also showed me the buoy things that he has. So one for your head. He said a lot of people, when they're getting into the float tank, they don't want to put their head down in the water, since so they kind of do like this on the water, and they're just really straining and not relaxing. And so he said you can use his head thing. I recommend it for the people that do it the first time. He also had the long, like some not long but shorter like pool noodles as well. He said you can put them on your lower back or under your knees if you want to. But all these are not necessary. You don't have to use any of them. What else? That was basically it. He showed me like it has no locking mechanism to it. So like if I feel like I'm claustrophobic and I need to get out or something, I can just push right up on the thing, and it's hydraulic, so it'll go up. And then if I need, when I'm closing it, I can just grab the handle right there to close it. So after that, he said he exited the room. I had got in. I was going to use the head thing like he said. And then I tested it by kind of closing the thing. I noticed the lights, there was a seam of light coming from that closed part at the bottom, and that was because of I had the light on in that bathroom. So I got up, got out, turned that bathroom light off, and I also grabbed my towel so it was closer. I got in. I was trying to figure out, like, damn, how do I put the thing on my head while I'm floating, and then also close the thing? So I closed the thing first, and then I was like trying to set myself up or whatever with the thing, put the thing on my head, and then I'm lying down. And setting myself up, it's dark in there, but once I pressed the button, there was, colorful lights going on. So the colorful lights are going on, and it actually reminded me of some type of like light therapy thing that I had recently did, where it was like we were doing like a meditation, but the lights were flashing, and on your eyelids when your eyes were closed too, and it was kind of posed to kind of what do you say? Kind of like almost recreate DMT or give you that sort of feel. So when the lights were on and I closed my eyes, it reminded me of that. But yeah, so I set myself up. It took a few minutes for me to kind of adjust myself, because it was my first time doing it. You are basically floating. It was more water than I expected, so that was a little scary. I was like, oh, but I wasn't like scared or anything. But so I'm moving around, and I'm like, I close my eyes, and it almost starts to feel like, you ever seen those like shows and stuff when like the person's laying down, or like the possession things, when they're laying down, they're just being floated, or even the Alien movie when they're being pulled up and they're just lying down. I almost felt like that in a little bit, as my body was still moving. It felt like I was like being pulled up, beamed up or something for a little bit. I was like, oh, this is interesting. I was hearing this sound, like they give you these gel based earplugs, and so you're supposed to roll it up, you put in your ear, you don't push it all the way, you put in your ear, and then you flatten it so it's sealing. And so I had that, but maybe I didn't seal it the best. So I was hearing this like little buzzing sound, but it wasn't bad, it was okay. I don't even know if it was like something that was supposed to be there, like a frequency or something. Could have been, because once I was in there for a while, and I was floating a little bit. Only thing was my foot was sometimes hitting the side of it, because I was floating to one side, so my foot was sometimes hitting the side of the pod. And sometimes I would like push myself over a little bit so I can like not be touching anything and be really like just floating. I steadied myself, and I was breathing, trying to make sure I was breathing properly, and not just, sometimes I was just breathing out through my nose, but I was preferring to breathe in and out through both my nose and mouth. Ooh, low battery. Hope that didn't mess up the video. And so yeah, getting myself adjusted to it. I realized I was actually doing the neck thing that he was saying, even though I had thing. I thought I wasn't. And so I sat back a little bit more. I tried to relax my shoulders and my hands, because at first they were like this, and I was like, oh, let me try to put them up here and stuff like that. And I actually kind of enjoyed the motion a little bit when I was like moving. And so I set my head down a little bit more in the water, and then the buzzing, you can hear it a little bit, but it was like kind of like clearer. So I was like, is the sound in the pod? Like, is there a sound coming through the water or something like that? But I think also me sitting back a little bit more in the water kind of sealed up my ear a little bit more, because it was like less wind or air sound, but more like that buzzing. And then sometimes I didn't even notice it, or it stopped or whatever. I don't know. But I noticed that like your head is in the water, but the water's not coming to wash you over. It's like the water transformed from like regular water to like honey, in a sense. Like it's like you're indented into the water, but it's not rushing over, the rest of your body. And so that was cool. I was already tired during the day, so I don't think I fell asleep. But my mind is going to multiple different things. Being present in the situation, thinking about the situation, and then nod and think about other things and stuff. And at one point I felt like I was very steady in it, and like not moving. And I started to question, like, am I touching the bottom of the thing, or am I still floating? And I was scared to like put my hand down in the water too much, because I didn't want to know how deep it was. Because that might have, messed me up. Because the thing is, I don't know how to swim, so I'm already just floating on water. Even that scares me. If I'm in a pool trying to float on water, I'm not going to do that. So I'm floating in this water. I don't want to know how deep it is. So I was questioning whether I was actually at the push. My body was on the bottom. Why was I so steady? Because I almost felt like I was sunk into like a bed or something like that. And so I started like moving my arm a little bit just to kind of get me moving again, because I just kind of like the motion a little bit. And then I was getting more free to be able to shift my arms or rotate my arms and stuff towards the end. But I had noticed, I think the lights had went out. Those colorful lights had went out at a certain point and possibly came back on. But yeah, it was very, I did also notice, because I was so steady, I noticed when I started to like move my arms at one point, there was like felt like a film, like they were like tight, like in like plastic wrap or something over my arms, something like that. And I guess it was a salt that had created like a film over my arms. And so I just noticed that when I was moving, and I was feeling the salt, on me, rubbing the salt a little bit, as I was in a ending part of the experience. And then he said, you'll know when it's over, when that jet thing starts moving again, you'll feel it. And eventually I did feel it, and got up, got out, took a shower. Only thing I would say about the place, I mean, it felt safe. was like that damn water in the shower, like that hot water ain't last long. I was like, oh, let me get out of here. Wash my hair, wash myself, whatever. I forgot to bring lotion. So I'm probably a little ashy right now, but yeah, it was a very cool experience. He told me to drink a lot of water because, because of so much salt, it'll pull, water out your body or whatever. So he wants you to hydrate yourself. And yeah, I would definitely do it again. It was a great relaxing experience. Clearly I would try to, concentrate more on one thing or meditate more on one thing. Yeah, that's about it. It was cool. Pretty nice. Now let me go watch this movie. Bye.